doesn't need a new pair of earrings for spring. Today, we're going to be making a really fun pair of twisted wire earrings. The inspiration for this design came from summer camp. When I used to go as a little girl, we would make these little dream catcher sculptures out of popsicle sticks and yarn, and they were just really cool, and I thought it would be fun to try with wire. So let's go over the tools and supplies you'll need to make this project. You'll need a ruler, you'll need 18 gauge wire, 26 gauge wire, and 20 gauge twisted wire. You'll need 2 drop beads for the bottom and a pair of ear wires. And you'll need a wire straightening plier, a flush cutter. I like to use a bail shaping plier for my loops, but you can also use just a round nose plier, which you'll need anyways. Either a chain nose plier or a tweezer nose plier, and a flat nose plier. Okay, so let's get started. Grab your 18 gauge wire, your ruler, and your wire straightening pliers, and cut 2 2.5 inch pieces of wire. I like to straighten it while it's still on my spool. This is important because you just want them to be as straight as possible while you get started. So straighten it out. Grab your flush cutter as well and make sure that this end is flush cut. So cut it with the back of your flush cutter. And then measure 2.5 inches and flush cut the other side. And then flush cut this tip again. Make sure it's really straight. And if you want, you can just use your first piece to measure 2.5 inches. Actually, a good tip is to go ahead and cut 4 pieces because you're making 2 earrings. So if you want, go ahead and cut 4, just so that you know everything's going to be the same length. Now grab your twisted wire, your round nose plier, and your flush cutter, and we're gonna start wrapping. I have a little bit off of my spool here, and you can see that really pretty texture on this wire. This is the 20 gauge twisted wire. And for this part, I like to cut 3.5 feet. And just do that. Cut with your flush cutter, 1, 2, 3. So what we're going to do is on one end of the twisted wire, make a tiny circle, a loop, with the very end of your round nose plier. Just grab it and roll it back so you have a very small loop. And I usually take my flat nose plier and kind of press it down because it uncoils sometimes, so just be careful. It can be sharp. And take your 2 sticks. I'm just gonna call these sticks, but it's wire. And you're gonna slide it to the center of one, like that. And then you're gonna lay your other stick on top. Like that. And then you're just going to wrap in kind of an X pattern while holding everything together in the center. And this is kind of a tricky part, just be patient and just wrap diagonally. and then maybe the other way diagonally. Can be tricky to get. This is the hardest part, I think. So just kind of weave them together. Like in a little X pattern. And if you need to, you can kind of readjust those middle pieces. You can see that I've sort of bent mine out of shape. It's okay. Okay, so I'm happy with that. All right, so let's start with our pattern. And this is gonna repeat the whole time. You're gonna wrap around the pole and down, and then you twist it around, down. And so start with your wire down at the right. You're gonna wrap under it and around and down. Turn. Around, down, turn. Around, turn. Around, down, turn. I'm taking it over the bar each time. See that? That's over the bar. And wrap around, over. And also as I go, I usually press those into the center. I use my nails. You can use a tool, or just if you can, try to squeeze that down. Over, around, down. And also, if you need to, you can grab your wire straightener as you go. If you see there's a kink in your wire, you can straighten that. So just keep doing this pattern. Down, over the bar, around, turn, over the bar. Press it down if you need to, and down. So it starts to make this really cool pattern, and that's all there is to it. Now I've finished my wraps, and once you're finished, take a look at your design and decide which end you want to be the top of your piece, which way the symmetry looks best, whatnot. I want this to be the top. So you can see that I've got my loose wire here, and just take it and wrap it a couple of extra times at the top piece. And then cut it in the back with your flush cutter. Make sure it's not sticking out. And now we're gonna make some loops. We're gonna make loops on all 4 sides, but the two on the side are gonna be more of a little spiral. So we're definitely doing loops at the top, loops at the bottom, and then these are more of a spiral look on the side. Just another note on when to stop wrapping around. It's up to you. You can do a small design, you can do a big design. It's totally up to you. And also sometimes it helps to do both earrings at the same time. Like instead of finishing this one off like I just did, I could have started my second one and then kind of compared them to each other so that both earrings are the same size. So it's just up to you. So once you're ready to make loops, just grab either your bail plier, your round nose plier, flat nose plier, and make a 90-degree bend at the top, like that. And while you're there, do it at the bottom too. So then trim, I'm gonna trim this off just a little bit. I do like to do both earrings at the same time. For this part, you want your loops on each earring to be the same, but I just have one now, and I'm gonna roll this back. using the smallest rung on my 6-step bail shaping plier, but also, like I said, you can use your round nose for this too. Grab the very tip, roll it back. And then on the side, we're gonna make little coils. And I like these to be the same size, so you might wanna grab a ruler that's exactly 1/2 inch somehow. And this is a little less, so I'm gonna trim this a little, about 1/8 of an inch. Bend those both 90 degrees. Do sharp bends. And you can use the end of your round nose plier to just get that coil started. Sometimes I'll pinch it closed to make it even smaller and then roll it back using the flat part of my plier. Just kind of move it down. Back. Okay, so now we're ready to put on our little briolette bead at the bottom, and I chose to use some small tanzanite drops for this pair. And I'm gonna need 26 gauge wire, chain nose plier, flush cutter again, round nose plier, and that's it. So cut about 1.5 feet of 26 gauge. Make sure it goes through your bead. I've already tested this. We're good. So just 1.5 feet. And put it through your bead about about 4 inches and bring both tails up above it. I like to grab my chain nose plier and squeeze it just above the point of the bead to create a little teepee over that point to protect it. And then with your round nose plier, grab where you made that bend, push both wires 90 degrees away from you, and then readjust, move your plier just beyond that bend, and roll it back, and bring both wires down and around. And make sure you're making your loop the right direction to where it will go onto your loop here. So I need to make my loop go this way. I'm gonna have to turn it a little bit. All right, so now grab your chain nose plier, grab that loop very gently, and just start wrapping and kind of wrap down towards the point. And then when you're happy with it, bring it back up, the whole piece. And trim it in the back with your flush cutter again. And then make sure you tuck in those little tails. So just open up your loop, slide your piece on, and then close it back. And then grab your ear wire, open it up the same way with your chain nose plier, slide it onto the top, and close it up and you're done. Here's what they're gonna look like when they're finished. And let's go over the tools and supplies one more time that you'll need. You're gonna need a ruler, 26 gauge wire, 18 gauge wire, and 20 gauge twisted wire. You'll need a pair of ear wires and 2 drop beads, a bell shaping plier if you want, a round nose plier, a wire straightening plier, a flush cutter, flat nose plier, and a chain nose or a tweezer nose plier. If you need any of the tools or supplies for this project, check out the links below. Tell me, what was your favorite project at summer camp? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. And now that you know how to make twisted wire earrings, you can say, I made this.